Hey guys, modern Call of Duty sucks ass. I don't think I have to explain too much, but with the modern and strict skill-based matchmaking, the wild and wacky skins, it's hardly even a military shooter these days. You may as well just play Fortnite. So with that said, let's hop into our top alternatives to Call of Duty here in 2025. So first up, and most obviously, we have Splitgate 2. This is free to play on all platforms pretty much, and crossplay. But basically, Splitgate 2 has stepped it up from the first one. You now have sort of a created class with weapon customization, and it's more like Halo in the sense of there's power weapons around each map and time you play, and you can pick them up and have a pretty strong weapon to use temporarily until you lose it or you die. They have lots of cool and unique game modes, and probably the thing I enjoyed most from Splitgate 1 was Infected and their party modes. They seem to have a few party modes so far in Splitgate 2, but I'm still waiting on Infected, which should be coming in the future. This time around, they do have sort of a creative mode where you can create your own sort of custom game modes and maps, which is actually pretty cool, pretty similar to Halo's Forge mode. And lastly, there's also a battle royale you can check out within Splitgate 2, which is actually pretty unique and pretty fun. Moving on from Splitgate 2, we have the Finals, and the Finals has a lot of destruction in it. You can blow up buildings and pretty much anything you can find. It's class-based, and they do have a lot of wacky and goofy characters, which does sort of turn me off a bit, but it is pretty fun. They have their main mode, which is sort of like a heist mode. It's like a 3v3v3. And the team that can basically extract the most deposit boxes wins, and you basically all have to fight for it. It can be pretty fun and pretty intense. I also recently checked out their new Team Deathmatch mode, which of course is a welcome addition, but I think I do prefer their main mode. But it's always nice to have some alternatives, right? Finals is free to play and pretty much on all platforms and crossplay as well. Next up, we have Star Wars Battlefront 2. I picked it up a couple weeks ago when it was just on sale for like $5, so I picked it up on my PS5, and it recently had a huge resurgence of players, even on Steam, surpassing its max of all time, even though this originally released back in like 2017. Back then it was cursed by loot boxes, but ever since then they've patched it and updated it, so there's pretty much no loot boxes and you can manually just unlock and earn everything. So it's a lot of fun and pretty in-depth. You can play in third person or first person. There's just a toggle to switch between it, real nice and simple. There's a few different classes to play from, and a bunch of weapons to unlock in every class. You can also level up the vehicles, and they have large team battle modes, which is basically the main focus on all the Star Wars eras, as well as a bunch of different Star Wars planets and maps. They also have a game mode where you can just fly around in starships and fight over different objectives, and basically just play in aerial combat mode. There's also heroes versus villains, so you can play as iconic Star Wars heroes or villains, use the Force, use their gadgets, use their abilities and lightsabers, and basically play a team deathmatch like that. There's of course also a full single-player campaign and a co-op mode you can check out. The co-op mode is actually pretty cool, and I don't think it was like this on launch, but even if you're playing the co-op missions with randoms or your friends, you can actually level up your classes and your guns, and even complete challenges and trophies just by killing the AI in the co-op mode. So that's pretty interesting. And of course, this game's pretty much on all platforms, including PC, but it is not crossplay. Next up, we have a game that is actually not out quite yet. It comes out on August 26th, and this is Gears of War Reloaded. All you Xbox players out there can still probably play the original, but here on PlayStation and PC, this will be the first time we'll be able to access the first Gears of War game. This is going to be a $40 game. It will have a co-op campaign and a PvP multiplayer. The gameplay can be tactical or fast and frenetic, plenty gory and plenty gritty if you like those older school shooters, and the mechanics are basically a third-person cover shooter. So it's just a nice alternative to COD to be able to check out when it does release next month. Next, we have Rainbow Six Siege with their new Siege X update. So I last checked out this game in 2015 when it was nice and grounded in actual Rainbow Six, but these days I see a lot of wacky customization, cartoon skins and stuff. But if you don't mind that stuff, you can still have the classic tactical Rainbow Six experience with all the game modes previously known, but they also have some new updates and changes and some new game modes. I believe I've even checked out a team deathmatch at one point, which was a bit crazy. But hey, if you're interested, it's definitely still active, especially with its recent revamp. This is on pretty much all platforms, including PC. PC. Next is more of an alternative to COD Zombies, and this is Killing Floor 3, which is releasing on July 24th, which is just a week away from the time recording this video. I have played the beta and checked it out early, but the best way to describe Killing Floor is basically a faster paced and more difficult zombie survival game. Usually you can actually select your difficulty and select how long you want your match to be. So unlike COD Zombies, which basically goes on endlessly, in Killing Floor you can choose to just go for 10 waves, go for 20 waves, or sometimes even have the unlimited waves option. But how it works is at the very end, right before you can exfil, you have to face a major big boss fight. And they have a bunch of different bosses and it's basically randomized each time. And with how difficult the game can actually be and challenging, it makes it quite replayable and quite a lot of fun. They also have a nice heavy metal soundtrack always pretty much playing. But Killing Floor 3 is a $40 game. It will be on next-gen platforms and PC, and it will be cross-play. Next, we have Delta Force, which has been my most anticipated game coming very soon. It's already been out on PC, and I've checked it out quite a bit, but I've been waiting for this. This is finally the console release, releasing to PS5 and the Xbox Series X/S on August 19th, and it will of course be crossplay. So Delta Force is basically an alternative to Battlefield 2042, you might say, where the multiplayer is slightly futuristic. They have big team battles with vehicles and, the conquest, but you can also play smaller stuff like Rush, which is a lot more infantry focused. They also have a really cool extraction mode in the same vein as sort of Tarkov, but a lot more casual, but still in depth with like merchants, and I had a lot of fun checking it out. They also have a co-op campaign, which you'll have to work together and play through tactically and cooperatively, but it's a remake of the original Black Hawk Down campaign, following the real-life iconic story of that event, of course. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled for August 19th, where Delta Force will be releasing on consoles. If you're on PC, you can already check it out, and the game is free to play. So last up, we have Enlisted. Enlisted is a World War II free-to-play shooter on next-gen consoles and PC. In Enlisted, you take place in iconic World War II battles, and you can play as pretty much any faction throughout World War II. You can select your preference to play as, and have access to a whole bunch of different weapons from throughout World War II. It's really cool though, being able to partake in battles such as Battle of the Bulge, the Siege of Stalingrad, and a bunch of others like that. And what's unique about this game is you command a squad of AI soldiers. So every person, even if you're in a party with other people, when you spawn in, you have a squad with you of AI soldiers. You can switch between each of those characters at any time, but once they die, you're gonna have to wait until the entire squad is dead before you can respawn with a new squad. So that's a mechanic that makes it pretty interesting. But yeah guys, that's gonna be it for my top alternatives to Call of Duty here in 2025. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below, and if you have any other alternatives people should check out, drop them in the comments. But until next time guys, peace out.